Okay, well, everyone, what a thrill it is to be with you this morning. We just finished a great call on leadership. I have to say, in the app, there was a couple of people of note that are absent today, and it was the reason that I was hosting the leadership call this morning. Dave Johnson was kind enough to do that one with me. I was filling in for Julie Tara, who is our Team Taishi member, and I was filling in because our Team Taishi and Team Kaizen people on their way to San Francisco right now to enjoy their luxury retreat, which is where I'm wishing I was. It's they've got a great event lined up. They're going to be having a private yacht where they're going to be sailing around the bay on a private yacht together. Sure is a nice treat, that. Staying in a beautiful 5-star hotel. They've got some private excursions around San Francisco as well, going into Chinatown. And of course, with Kurt fully at the helm there's going to be some definite fine dining. In my experience working with Kurt, he knows a thing or two about fine dining. As a father of lots of little children, I don't get to frequent the types of restaurants he does without the risk of getting booted out for creating too much noise. So he's got some experience there that I look forward to enjoying down the road. But I want us all to be thinking of them, celebrating with them. And I've told them, I want to see some pictures on Facebook where you can rub our noses in it a little bit, because I want to be there next year. So this is a really important call, I think. And as we said before we started the recording, we want this to be a participatory call or interactive, unlike some of the other calls that we've got. So whilst I've put you all onto self-mute, here is one of the rules of the call. If you want to say something, unmute yourself and let your voice be heard. Does that sound good? If you've got questions that you want to ask or comments to share, be sure to do that. You'll notice as well that this is a leadership call, but as it's a leadership call, we needed to set some guidelines as to who was invited to participate as a leader. One of the unique things that we've got here in NICAN, as with all network marketing companies, is we do have a hierarchy, don't we? We have a path that is potted with milestones that are called senior, executive, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, royal ambassador. They're milestones for us that give us key indicators as to our journey towards success in the NICAN business. But critically, what we wanted to emphasize in this call is that leadership isn't just a tag that we have on our chest, a pin or a rank. It's something that we do, and it's something that we are. And to that end, what we wanted to define for those that join this call is, if you join the call, it's because you're a leader. If you're acting like a leader, you are one. And we want you to feel validated in that context. We want you to feel a part of the NICAN leadership team for that reason. And that to that end, as I've been working in the business these last couple of months, as one of the newbies of the group in that context, I notice with the personal group that I'm developing that there are people that have been in my team for all of a month or two that I've brought in, but they're wanting to be leaders, they're acting like leaders, they're getting out there and doing stuff. And I just think it makes sense for them not to miss out, because this is great training and a great place to feel involved and participate. And if that's the case that I feel, then surely each of you have got to be thinking the same things with your teams as well. And perhaps maybe that's speaking right to you personally. So we wanted to kind of make sure that we had everyone included. I want to share a thought to get us started here. And I shared it on the leadership call just a few minutes ago. And the critical point of leadership, I want to share some personal experiences whilst I'm doing the chatting right now. Again, based on these last couple of months that I've been here in the field, it's been a wonderful and enriching learning process for me, going from having worked my way up through every position of the corporate business side of the business, starting out as a media manager, becoming a marketing manager, becoming a country manager, regional sales director, managing director, all the way up through to president, and having great insights from that perspective. sitting on the councils with the Direct Selling Association, being guest speakers at annual conferences for the industry, and facilitators at those annual events and that kind of thing. That's been wonderfully educational, but it's been incredibly educational jumping into the field, shoulder to shoulder, linking arms with each of you to build the business. I've been out there recruiting people, developing my front line. Dave Johnson has been acting as a wonderful mentor to me as my upline, as I've been developing my personal group, which is starting from scratch. A brand new personal group that he's been helping me get out there and to train them and to teach them, but also to set goals together with them, as we're now looking at developing, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but looking to develop my first frontline silver this month. And we'll be doing that with a 21 club that we're about to get started, but we've got some goals in place, some activity going on. And I feel that keenly because Dave said on the call this morning, the speed of the pack is based upon the speed of the leader, or the speed of the leader governs the speed of the pack. We've heard that. And whilst I am not the leader, I am a leader. I recognize keenly that I need to be out there doing it, leading from the front. So enthusiastically, I hope to have my first silver developed this month. But I want to share a principle here that I shared this morning that I hope will resonate with each of us. There's a turning point that we're going through right now, and I hope you feel it. I want to ask some questions. So in advance, here's a question that I want to have you be willing to get an answer back to us on this call today, is we have set up this weekly schedule of calls that I believe are a great asset to what we're doing. I love the sense of community that it's developing. I love the inclusion, the collaboration, and the sharing, and I love the rhythm that it is teaching as we all participate here. I'd like to get your feedback on today's call as a leadership group as to how effective you feel these calls are. And I want us to be candid as we give some feedback. Do we have too many calls? Do we have the right amount? Do we need to have a fewer number and have more recorded calls that are done with a greater sense of professionalism that we can use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for example? What is your feedback? I'd like you to have a think on that in preparation for the sharing portion. But I also want to share a thought real quick to give this some serious consideration here. And that is this. I shared this morning. So astronauts and cosmonauts out in space came across an incredible but surprising challenge. The challenge that they discovered as they were out there working in space was that ballpoint pens don't work in that environment. As you know, a ballpoint pen works if you're facing down, but without gravity, it just doesn't work at all. What do we do with this? So in order to find a solution, they invested thousands of man-hours and millions of dollars to create a writing device that could work in any environment, on any angle, in any temperature, out there in space. It was a phenomenal breakthrough that they had as this great device was created. But it took time to do that. So what did they use in the meantime? They simply used a pencil. Now, what I don't want us to be doing as a group of leaders is be spending time trying to create a wonderful device that will work on any platform, any place, any time, anywhere, any angle, any temperature, when we've got pencils at our disposal to build. Yeah? We need to keep this simple. I heard it said that at the far end, that simplicity is at the far end of complexity. And one of the great ways to test this is by speaking to little children when they ask you to explain something. Dad, why is the sky blue? Well, that's a great question. Maybe Mike DiMuccio might know the answer to that. I don't. No, I don't. What is wind? Right? They can get these wonderfully simple contexts, situations that we come across every day, and all of a sudden make you look like an idiot because you don't know the answer. And I think for us, we've got to get the critical foundational elements of our business and break it down to the super simple. And that's one of the reasons why we've got these calls. I share that because one of the epiphanies that I've had is, as I was in the office, I thought to myself, boy, the way forward here, we've got people online that just have hundreds of thousands of followers. And I'll give you an example. My son, Ethan, is 15 years old, and he set up an Instagram account. And on his Instagram account, he posts pictures of Marvel comic superheroes. Nothing too fancy, nothing too clever, but he's jumped online, and in the process of doing this, he's taught himself how to edit videos. And he takes little clips online, which he's figured out how to record from YouTube, and he edits them together and creates his own little trailers of bad guys and the supervillains, or my favorite superheroes. It's what a teenage boy loves to do. But he got really excited one day when he said, Dad, check this out. I posted this picture of Spider-Man. I've gotten 6,000 likes. I was like, where the heck did those likes come from? Now all of a sudden, it started to snowball. And now he's got about 1,200 followers on his Instagram account, but one of his favorite videos has had 18,000 likes. And I'm looking at the videos that I've been producing, and I'm like, wait a second. I've been the president of a company. We're leading a multi-million-dollar enterprise here. My best hits has been like 5,000 views. What's going on? And he's showing something as simple as a superhero. Well, what have I learned? What is the application here? The application is that works great if you're a teenager showing superheroes. But if you're talking about a business, you've got a different audience. I've found that Twitter has a different audience and a different level of engagement. You get a couple of seconds. It's exactly that. It's a Twitter, isn't it? It's a little fleet in and a little fleet out of someone's attention. Facebook gets a few more seconds. A blog, you've got a few minutes of their time, but that's it. But you've got different levels of engagement at different tools. Now, the critical thing is, why do I share this? The greatest level of engagement that I've seen is person to person. The greatest response that I have seen is face to face, or Skype or video call, where you're talking eyeball to eyeball. The greatest reaction we get is when we're doing this stuff. Why do I share that? Because what I've found is the first lesson that I was taught in network marketing still holds true. The first lesson that I got taught was by the managing director. It was my first job when I got made the marketing manager, and I was involved in creating copy and content for the business. And he said, Ben, let me teach you one really important lesson. Always communicate to the lowest common denominator. And I thought, yeah, great point. And he paused and he said, Ben, never underestimate the lowest common denominator. You might think it's there. You need to drop it down a few notches and get even lower and even more simple, right? And I've found that to be really true. Not because we're dealing with simple people, but because we're dealing with a different level of attention span. We're dealing with people that are working with this part-time. Occasionally, they're popping in and popping out. They're engaging at different levels, and we've got to make it super simple. Why do I share this? Because I have found, as I've been building my business, but working with my team collectively, but particularly as I've been working with my personal group, getting new people in and getting them started, helping them get to the silver rank and so on, what I've found is it actually comes back to the basic fundamentals that technology enhances but doesn't change. Technology is like the seasoning on a beautiful meal. It can make it more attractive, it can make it more tasty, but you can't have a meal of seasoning. You've got to have your meal of meat and potatoes. You can't have your meal that's made up of spice. The technology is like the spice that gives seasoning and flavor to enhance your meal, but it doesn't replace the core ingredients. And the core ingredients are us getting out person to person, belly button to belly button, eyeball to eyeball, doing the talking, doing the in-homes, getting them excited and moving them forward. And that is what I've really found will change our business. I was chatting to someone not that long ago. I'm not going to mention names, but I empathize with their struggle. This was someone that's been in the business for a while. And he said, I've just been sitting here watching my business go down. You know, some changes haven't worked in my favor. And it's causing me stress and concern. Well, what do I do? I'm stressed here. The solution is in what did you do to grow it in the first place? If you want to look at how to build your business, here is my counsel. How did you start? Where does the greatest energy come from? I have found the greatest energy and enthusiasm in my team comes from my personal group that are brand new people. And as they're getting excited,
So, Ben,
yeah?
Ben, this is Dave Bell here in Ogden, Utah.
Yeah, hey, Dave.
So I got a real problem with that, what you were just talking about, building your business and how did you start it, all that. My business never took off. So, you know, 20 years later, I'm here trying to figure out how to build a business.
Yeah.
And everybody says, well, gosh, Dave, you've been in this for 22 years. Why don't you know how to do this?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know how to do it when I started.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do I do, Ben?
Yeah, Dave, that's a great question. And you're getting to the point that I really want to emphasize because this applies for everyone. Because you're right, some people do come in and they fall flat on their face. They don't start out strong. Not everyone does that. And first of all, I have to take my hat off to you for being here 20 years on when you've struggled for that time frame. But the critical thing is, and I'll share with you an example. A good friend of mine is a lady by the name of Anne Feinstein. I'll share this with my mentoring group. Anne Feinstein, I worked with her in a previous business, and she's a frontline leader to a man who I'm sure many of you have heard of. He's a man called Randy Gage. Randy Gage is a New York Times bestselling author, expert in our industry, and very, very famous kind of celebrity network marketer, really. And I had the pleasure of working closely with her and with him in a previous business. And they're just out there getting started for the first time. So I sat down with her and got some fantastic feedback on how they're building their business from the grassroots. And you want to know what they're doing? This is what happened. She said she's been working with Randy Gage for 18 years. And she's built a thriving, massive business, but she's starting from ground zero with no group, grassroots. Where do you start? This is what she did to start. She said Randy Gage called her up, and if you might want to turn to your upline to do this, or if you're an upline, you might consider doing this with your downline, right? But this is what happened. Randy Gage called her up, and he said to her, Anne, I want you to pick a date within the next 2 weeks, Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to come to your house, and we're going to do an in-home together. And she said that scared the dickens out of her, right? Because while she's spoken in front of thousands on the phone at events, what she found was suddenly having an in-home, going out there prospecting herself, going back to that activity, was a little intimidating. And of course, she didn't want to let her upline down. So she said over the next 2 weeks, she felt a degree of stress and discomfort, but she scrambled and she went out there and she got about 20 people coming into her house for that in-home presentation. Here's what happened. That started in the January. They did that in-home and she said, he came along. He didn't even give the presentation. He made me do it, right? And she said, but the reason he did that was because when he flew out and left me, what did that tell me? It told me he didn't need to fly back for me to do another one.
Well, what it told her was that she could do it. And I've done presentations that, not necessarily, having 20 people come to my house. I don't know how to get them into the house to begin with.
Yeah. Well,
I did the presentation and 4 people in Idaho, Pocatello last weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got no A.
Well, let me ask you. Well, first of all, the critical thing is you need to find an A, right? And you can work upline there, and go through your report and find who upline of you can work out and reach out to. if there is no one there because maybe that's a group of inactive people or people that have fallen away, if that's your
They're all
position,
busy.
well,
They're all busy with their own, like yourself. You just built 2 silvers, and you got no time for some old guy that ain't doing nothing.
David, you're making assumptions there. You haven't even asked me yet. I get asked.
You're right. You're right, Ben, because you sent me an email last month saying, Dave, you haven't asked me yet.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
so,
I can't.
So yeah, that was a Facebook thing, and so yeah, I understand, and I haven't put that out, but I stay busy, and I didn't want to. I've got to straighten out my own world first. Is basically what I'm saying.
Dave, congratulations on Pocatello. That's awesome that you did that. But this is the first time I heard about that, and I would love to do some follow-ups on those people that you saw in Pocatello. So let me know. I didn't know.
Yeah, Dave, that guy that fell off the porch was the guy that I was up there with.
Awesome.
So yeah, so you actually do know about that guy. We haven't talked, but that's because we talk in the mornings and they don't get up until noon. And I think I told you that also as well. But yeah, I mean, I talked to his landlord and a couple of guys that he was there with and stuff. So, it's not that I'm not out there doing it. I'm just not doing it the right way.
This is Mike DiMuccio intercepting here.
Mike, nice to meet you. I've met you before, Mike.
Hey, listen, this is the kind of conversation that should happen in private. This particular call is designed to be leadership. And so we're talking about something even more fundamental. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with you if you'd like to get a hold of me, and we can discuss specifics where you're concerned. But just for the benefit of everyone on the call, let's keep.
Yeah. I understand that, Mike. And when I chimed in, I don't want to have pretty much just general.
That's fine. It's just Ben's trying to deliver a point, and if we have to address everyone's individual issue, then we won't be here for a half hour. We'll be here for 3,000 hours. So.
Sure. But the critical point there is,
where do I start? I am back to mute.
Well, we love you, David. And the critical point there, in answer to the question, where do I start? I raise my hand and ask for help. Yeah. And if you don't get it from the first person, we keep on asking. And that is an essential principle of leadership, is self-government. If we don't have the answers, we go out and we find them. And that's what we want to do. So I want to get some feedback, like I said, on these calls. And so to that end, I'm going to look out here, and let's look at. Let me see, Randy Rolfe. I can see your smiling face here. Do you want to unmute for just a second? Let's get some feedback from you on how you feel the weekly calls have been going.
Well, I've certainly been having fun doing it, and I think it's getting more and more professional. I think we've had some technical issues, but the people that are doing the calls are very dedicated, and I think it's pretty early still to assess whether it's really having an impact on the field. I've just been starting to promote them with downline and new people, and so I'm not sure yet how they're going to work, but I am really glad they're there. And I think having them on the Royal Alliance makes it really easy to refer people to the recordings. And I don't think we have to listen to them all to know what to point people to, because they are being done very professionally. And the testimonials are good. And I think it's working great so far. But like I said, I don't know. It does take time for us who are doing it. But I think it's worth it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I've got a couple of other raised hands as well. Bernadette McBurney, you've got your hand raised, I think. And then also Michelle Kowalchuk, if you want to go after Bernadette. So Bernadette.
Sure. Well, I can tell you from a result standpoint, in the last 2 weeks to 3 weeks, my group, we've been using them quite a bit with prospect. Because for us, it's not just about the team, it's really about bringing the prospect on board. And we've had great results. And what I mean by that, people who connected to the product showcase, the business preview, then had a follow-up three-way call, and some of them with Mike and others, and they're on board. And they're on board as business partners, not as customers.
Yeah.
And literally, of the result of that, one of the consultants became executive, another one sponsored another one, and 3 of those guys are coming to Orlando.
Yeah, so, fantastic.
So I can tell you it works. What I can say, though, is to come back to a point you mentioned, Ben, it's the person-to-person that really makes a difference. It's not, we don't use the web to invite people to a presentation. We invite them to connect as a second step, as following up the one-on-one that has been done, whether face-to-face, whether on the phone, whether by Skype. So the connection has been done. That's why they're effective, because if we was just inviting them to connect, I don't think they would.
Yeah. I agree. I think what this does, these calls, it provides a framework that governs our weekly activity.
Yeah.
I've found the same thing. I will lead my guests and my frontline, my new people to these calls. But then afterwards, I need to speak to them and get their feedback and put them into context of, and now what can we do with this as a result?
Yes.
It's a combination effect, isn't it?
Yeah. And a couple of other things I want to mention is sometimes I have myself prospect who cannot connect to any of the live calls. I just use the recording. I don't wait necessarily for the next live call. I don't. Yeah. I send them the recording and I take them through the process the same way. So for what we see in our group is accelerating the process that we take. It's shortening the time to take people through the process. It's creating really excitement. It's showing people that, oh my gosh, I can do this. I just need half an hour. I can watch that video during my lunch break or whenever. That we're showing something that is easy, simple, and duplicatable.
Yeah.
One thing, other feedback I'd like to mention is I've noticed that even the product showcase or even the business preview, they don't always use the same presentation. That's one thing that I've noticed. So, if we want to streamline the message.
Yeah. I think that's important. We've got to have consistency there, because that's what helps us rely on something and depend on it. Yeah,
I'd like to speak to that, Ben. I have notified those who have been using the unbranded PowerPoints to let them, they didn't know they were not using the unbranded, that there's a branded version. So hopefully that'll change, and you'll see a little bit more consistency in terms of the thumbnails on the presentations on our YouTube playback, so that you'll know which presentation is which. Discover Active Wellness is the product showcase, and it's titled Discover Active Wellness because that's the title of the presentation. So that's what you want to send as a YouTube link. But when we promote it on the Royal Alliance, you'll see it as product showcase. So it's me talking to you essentially as a distributor versus you sharing this information to the general public. You would have a different title.
Language,
different language.
One last comment, Ben, that I'd like to make is I love the fact that we have those web. I've used it myself. I've decided not to be the host every week. That's the thing that I've done, because I use that as a platform for others to grow. And I reach out to Crossline and also my team, and that's what I use. And I think that also is a fabulous way of, edifying our next leaders, moving them in front of the room versus staying at the back of the room. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, let me just summarize a couple of critical points here. I'm sensitive that time has escaped us so quickly today, but there are some critical points that I think are really important that have been raised in the feedback. One, the consistency of the program is really important in building our dependability and helping us establish a rhythm. Two, as we use it to integrate with the face-to-face stuff, we'll have a more powerful reaction within our teams. Three, by using it as a platform to invite guests to, we can build our business. These calls aren't just for us, but we can use them as a tool to attract new people and to build our team. That's a really important point. And the last point that Bernadette made is it's also a training platform where we can get leaders, potential leaders, up-and-coming people, hosting these calls or participating or presenting the message and getting involved. And it becomes a platform where we can say, we're going to help you become a leader. and we use it as a training piece, which is really, really good as well. So fantastic feedback. Michelle, your thoughts?
Yes, Ben. I really like what Bernadette has said. I really like everything that has been said here today. Thank you very much for hosting this call. But I just want to add that these calls, these recorded calls, which I think are fantastic, having the recordings, even just as they are, I don't think they need to be any more professional. I think they're great as they are. Use them for our in-homes. I use recorded calls all the time in my in-homes. They are very, very powerful. Grade A. Yeah,
and you're right. You've got loads and loads of A's that are coming through here on these calls, and there is something. In fact, this was a lesson I learned from Haley Simpson. If Molly's on the phone, I'm quoting your daughter here, Molly. When I was in Orlando last year, I think it was at the 40th anniversary. She wanted me to do a brief video clip for her team. And we went out the front, and I was talking about, oh, hang on, let's get let's get this backdrop here. We want to make sure we've got the lighting right and the angle right. Or let me take that again. And she's like, no, I want it rough and ready. That's how it works, right? And she taught me a great lesson, because that's how those videos actually work really well. The more polished they are, sometimes the less authentic they can feel. And so you're right, Michelle. I think you raised an excellent point. Yeah, good point. You've just reminded me of another lesson that I learned a year ago. So Carrie Glitzstein, can I you raise your hand, and then we'll go to Sue Gruber. I saw you just raised your hand there. Okay, so Carrie.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben, and thanks everybody for the opportunity. So real quickly, having been in the business for a long time, like some of the leaders on the call here, I think one of the challenges we've always had in ECAN, and one of the opportunities here, is to take on the opportunity that we have living in this connected age. And I think, speaking to that specifically, one of the things that could help the whole field a lot will be to finally have a system that's super duplicatable, because that's where our business lives. It lives within duplication. And like so many companies out there that have really not a lot to offer, but what they do offer is a system that's quick and it's easy and it works to plug in a new person quickly, and everybody's using the same system. And because we have such an extraordinary product line, and we have a wealth of leadership with all kinds of ideas, I think for the most part, we've been somewhat scattered in that regard. And I know Mike's a big systems guy, and there's some other people are as well. But if we could somehow just put an easy system together that we could plug people into, in addition to these live calls, we would see the field move a lot faster with a lot less confusion, because confusion's always been a bit of a challenge for those of us out in the field who are trying to do it.
Well, Carrie, I'm so pleased that you said that. And I expect there's going to be a few smiling faces in just a second. I want to ask a question.
Well, I see two faces smiling, so somebody knows something I don't know, so I'm just listening now.
Let me ask you a question. If we were to provide you some tools, if there were some tools to become available very soon that would provide you that system, would that be exciting? Would that be reassuring? If there were some resources that were suddenly going to become available that could get into your hands in a tangible form that could help you to share the business, if there were some tools that would get into your hand that you could give to other people to share with customers or business builders, if there was a system that was put in place that could facilitate that simplification, that could create energy and excitement, that would answer those critical questions that you said, that remove the doubt and fear and replace it with excitement, confidence, and conviction. Would that be something interesting? Do you want to, if you like that, do you want to give a thumbs up so I can see? Would that be of interest? I'm glad to see these thumbs going up, ladies and gentlemen. But one of the reasons we want to have this call is over the next few weeks, you're going to start to see these types of things creep into our business. Some things might be revealed a little bit at a time. Other things are going to slap us about the face and make us go, oh my heck, what the heck is this? This is fantastic. So I think what I want to say is we're just getting started. As you can see, that Royal Alliance website is getting more updated more frequently. There's more tools going there. The YouTube channel is getting filled out and organized. We've got this weekly call schedule that shows the rhythm and we're getting some feedback here as to how we can structure it as a team. But what if we did have more, to Carrie's point? What if we did have tools that we could put in your hands that could systemize your daily, weekly activities and give you a clear path that is simple and easy to follow? Mike, what do you think about that as a tools guy? Oh, you're muted. Unmute. There you go.
I just think that would be an awesome idea if we had some that people.
Oh, gee, what's that in your hand?
Oh, this is nothing. It's just, I think, a little one-on-one brochure that really helps me communicate how cool Nikken is to get involved in when I'm sitting in a coffee shop.
There you go. I like that. William, what do you reckon? Do you want to, William Todd? Any thoughts from your end? What do you think would be helpful here? Any ideas?
Well, I go back to the beginning of this whenever you were talking about children. I remember when I was a kid and playing with Lincoln Logs or building a puzzle, which was my favorite thing to do. My sister would always come along, my 9-year-old sister, and knock it over. And I used to get so angry, and I used to turn red in the face. I used to have to start rebuilding these things that I was building, and it kind of reminded me of you, Ben, coming into Nikken and knocking over my 20-year puzzle of my Royal Diamond. and interesting, though, I didn't get angry. I actually got excited. And then when I went down and met with Kurt and, was of the opinion that based on listening to some negative brainstorming situations that he was the problem, whenever I realized he's actually the solution. And learning what's going on with the back office and learning what's going on with the front office and what's going on around the world with expansion of customer acquisition. And it just really led us to what's happening here with this call now is, long story short, the Royal Alliance is coming back in a very big way. And I know that we are supposed to wait to announce this in full form, but it's going to be bigger and better and brighter than it's ever been before. New branding. It's in conjunction with a lot of the things that vision that Ben left behind at corporate on his way out and now enforces in the field. But I have to tell everybody that, I was of the opinion that, change is inevitable. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the only constant in the world. One of the things here that I've realized is that the Nikken world is in perfect order. And as much as you may say, well, hang on, look at my check from this time last year, or look at my business, or look at who's here and look at who's gone, I'm here still to tell you that Nikken world is in perfect order. It's never looked better and it's never looked brighter. The difference is that I feel that I'm in control of my Nikken world. And I find that some people find that the Nikken world is in control of them. And you want to flip that on its side as fast as humanly possible. I've never seen, day before yesterday and Sunday, I got a $350 order, retail order out of Singapore, which I'm about ready to go down to ship some of the products out at the local post office. I just got another one from Dallas, a box of 10-4 that's going down. I got a Nikken lead today, and I honestly believe it's because I trust this process. Is it concluded? No. Is it in its infancy? Yeah. Is it exciting? Very. I don't think I've ever seen it more exciting than what it is now. But I always go back to, that idea of my sister knocking over the Lincoln Logs after I had this perfect cabin built, and the fear and the anger and the anxiety and the tears that would generate from that. It's not happening here with the new Nikken world. Even though we've had a little bit of a shakeup, nothing's really changed. Actually, everything's been improved. So I just want to urge some of you that are maybe feeling a little bit of frustration, a little bit of anxiety, maybe heart palpitations, maybe sweaty palms. It's just part of change. And I would love to share everything that we have come to the conclusion on doing, but every week at Tuesday at 9 a.m. we're going to roll out another announcement and another announcement and another announcement. But the Nikken world is in perfect order. Ben? Yeah.
Oh, thank you, William. You did nail it. And thank you for saying that I metaphorically knocked your puzzle over. but here's the deal, guys. As a leader, and there's a group of leaders that have spoken on the phone, we're invested in Nikken, 100%. And we're getting together on these calls, getting this going, because we're putting our hand into our pocket to get some things developed to help everyone. We're making sure that we've got systems in place, tools in place, and support mechanisms in place so that everyone can feel empowered. We want to have a sense of empowerment for everyone so that you can feel in control. And we want you to have a great experience. And critically, we want us to all feel like we're a part of something awesome. And as I look at these screens today of all of your faces, this is why we're in this business. This is it right here. If you've got it on gallery view, here's the reason shining right back at us. It's you guys. And we just want to make sure that everyone thrives and prospers. That's why we're having this call. I want to say thank you for all the great feedback. I did promise Sue to just make a comment. So let me quickly, Sue, if you want to unmute yourself, and then I'll just say a couple of closing remarks, and we'll finish up.
Okay, basically it's a question more than a comment. Although we use the videos, the scheduled daily things that are going on. We're in Ohio, so the timings aren't exactly perfect for us, because they're done during the, Pacific Standard Time. But where are the recordings? I mean, is it on YouTube? Is it at Royal Alliance? Where is it?
Yeah, if you go to the Royal Alliance website, that'll link you to their YouTube channel. So you've got one of the tags in the menu bar there that is their YouTube channel. And I think, Mike, did you put the link there in the chat as well?
Yeah, if it's called RA Live, well, let's just go to youtube.com and then, or excuse me, theroyalalliance.com. You'll see selections. You can select live. That'll drive you straight into the live chat like today, right now. Or if you click YouTube channel, it'll drive you straight to the YouTube channel, which is organized with the top list being Royal Alliance live dash replays. So you can watch all the replays there. Just below that is best of Royal Alliance Live. So we're starting to segregate the views that are popular, which, by the way, I'd like to ask for your help on that. How views are getting segregated into the best of section is based on viewership. So as you promote the videos that are online to your groups, to your prospects, those that you find you relate to most or that you really like the most are going to have the highest viewership. Those ones will go into the best of, and that'll always be a moving target. So we'll try and keep the best of the best in that category so that you always have the highest quality presentations based on viewership for you to promote.
Excellent, excellent. So guys, we've actually covered quite a bit today, but it kind of brings us back full circle. We started out by saying that simplicity is at the far end of complexity. And our goal here is to make something nice and simple that everyone can plug into. We've started that process. It's going to continue to get better and better. We want you to get excited about what's coming your way in regards to more tools and support, because we're here to help you, because we want everyone to win and succeed. We want you to have a great experience. So please dial in each week in order to do that and to keep in touch with how we're working. The critical point is, as well, as we mentioned before, and Bernadette emphasized this wonderfully, is these tools and these weekly calls and these recorded calls are great only if we do something with them. But critically, what we do with them isn't just for self-education. The critical thing is that we get them into the hearts and minds of other people. These tools will work. Our business will grow when we get them out there in front of others and we share it. That, at the end of the day, if we want our businesses to grow, it all comes back to that simple stuff. Talk to more people and get them in front of these messages. We won't grow our business by talking to ourselves, and we won't grow it by philosophizing. At the end of the day, as William said, we've got everything we need. We've got great products. We've got a compensation plan that plays out every month, bang on time, no matter what. And we've got a great team of support here on these calls to rely on. We've got what we need. We just need to make sure that we make it count. So guys, thank you very much. This is just everything. Working with you guys means so much to me and to each of us as leaders. We love you. We're here for you, and we just want to have a great time together. So we look forward to seeing you at the next call, of course, which will be in 15 minutes if you want to hang around for the next call. If not, we'll see you on the leadership call in a couple of weeks, in a week's time. Take care, everyone, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.